Your future is not something you wait for. It's something you create. Every day, with every choice, you are laying bricks for the life you'll live tomorrow. The truth is, success doesn't come from one big decision. It comes from small habits, repeated daily, that shape your destiny. If you want a better future, you don't need to change your life overnight. You only need to change the habits that guide your life. Because habits, whether good or bad, are the invisible architects of your future. Small daily habits shape long-term destiny. Small daily habits shape long-term destiny. At first glance, this truth may seem almost too simple to believe. Yet, when you look closely at the lives of those who achieve extraordinary results, you find that their success is rarely a product of luck or one single breakthrough moment. Instead, it is built upon the quiet, consistent actions they take every day. These small habits, often unnoticed by the world, accumulate over time and create a foundation for greatness. Just as a single drop of water may seem insignificant, but over years can carve through stone, the habits we choose shape the direction of our lives and eventually determine our destiny. Think of it this way. Every choice you make is like planting a seed. Some seeds are of discipline, growth, and perseverance, while others are of neglect, procrastination, and excuses. At first, the difference between these seeds may not be obvious. After all, missing one workout, eating one unhealthy meal, or procrastinating for a single day doesn't seem to matter much. Similarly, reading a few pages of a good book, saving a small amount of money, or spending 15 minutes working on a skill doesn't instantly change your life, but over months and years, these seeds grow into towering trees, and the landscape of your life reflects the habits you have nurtured. The compounding effect of small actions, whether positive or negative, is what builds your future. It is tempting to wait for a big opportunity, to believe that one day something will happen that completely transforms everything. But the truth is, transformation happens gradually, in the daily discipline of choosing the right habits. Success is never a single leap. It is the sum of thousands of small steps taken consistently. Your long-term destiny is written in the routine of your days. If your daily habits are scattered, inconsistent, or destructive, your life will reflect that chaos. If your daily habits are intentional, focused, and rooted in discipline, your life will naturally move towards success and fulfillment. Consider the habit of learning. Someone who chooses to read for just 20 minutes a day may not feel different after a week, but after a year, they will have absorbed the wisdom of multiple books, ideas, and perspectives that sharpen their mind and expand their vision. Over a decade, that person will be worlds apart from someone who chose not to invest in learning. The gap may not be visible immediately, but over time, it becomes undeniable. This is the power of small, daily habits. They are invisible in the moment, but transformational over the long run. The same applies to health. If you commit to moving your body for half an hour each day, that simple habit protects you from countless future struggles. At first, it feels like just a routine, but in the long term, it becomes a shield against disease, a source of energy, and a foundation for a vibrant life. Neglecting this habit, on the other hand, doesn't ruin you instantly, but slowly it erodes your strength, leaving you vulnerable. The destiny of your health is not decided in a hospital years from now. It is decided in the daily choices you make today. Habits also shape your character. Every time you choose honesty, integrity, and discipline, you reinforce the kind of person you are becoming. Each moment you compromise, you weaken your foundation. Character is not built in a single event, but through repeated choices that align with your values. The destiny of your reputation, your influence, and your relationships is shaped by these small daily choices. When people look at successful individuals, they often admire the outcome, but overlook the process. They see the results, but not the routines that created them. Behind every achievement lies a set of habits practiced day after day. Often when no one was watching, success is less about intensity and more about consistency. Anyone can be motivated for a short while. But those who stay committed to positive habits, even when motivation fades, are the ones who create extraordinary futures. Your habits are the silent partners of your destiny. They work for you or against you, whether you notice them or not. If you build good ones, they become your greatest allies, pulling you steadily towards success. If you build destructive ones, they quietly sabotage you until the gap between where you are and where you want to be becomes too wide. The encouraging truth is that you have the power to choose. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. All you need to do is start small. Replace one negative habit with a positive one, and keep building. Over time, these small changes compound, and suddenly, you find your life transformed. The secret is patience. Greatness doesn't happen overnight, and neither does failure. Both are the product of repeated actions that add up over time. If you want to predict your future, look closely at your daily habits. They are the roadmap, the compass, and the building blocks of your destiny. Shape them wisely, and they will shape your future into something remarkable. Discipline and consistency are the foundation of transformation. Discipline and consistency are the foundation of transformation. Without them, even the best ideas remain as dreams, and the strongest intentions fade into regrets. Transformation does not happen by chance. It is built step by step, day by day, through the repeated actions of a disciplined and consistent life. Many people hope for dramatic changes, sudden breakthroughs, or overnight success. But the truth is that real change is born in the ordinary, often unglamorous daily choices we make and stick to with discipline. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Feelings are fleeting, but discipline is the anchor that keeps you moving in the right direction, regardless of mood or circumstance. It is the voice that tells you to get up when you would rather sleep, to finish when you feel like quitting, and to say no when temptations whisper yes. Discipline is not punishment. It is freedom. It frees you from the slavery of impulses, excuses, and regret. When you practice discipline, you gain control over your future instead of being controlled by your circumstances. Consistency is the companion of discipline. One moment of discipline can get you started, but consistency keeps you moving. Anyone can make the effort for a day or two, but transformation belongs to those who refuse to stop. Consistency is the multiplier of progress. It takes the small efforts, repeated daily, and compounds them into remarkable results. A single workout will not change your body, but consistent effort will. Writing one page will not make you an author, but writing a page every day eventually creates a book. Saving a small amount will not create wealth, but consistent saving builds financial freedom. Transformation is not a product of intensity, but of persistence. Together, discipline and consistency form an unshakable foundation. Discipline provides the strength to start and the courage to continue, while consistency builds momentum and compounds growth. Without discipline, consistency cannot exist, because you will quit the moment it gets hard. Without consistency, discipline will not bear fruit, because no single effort is enough. When the two work hand in hand, they create a rhythm that reshapes your habits, your character, and ultimately your destiny. Think of the sculptor chiseling away at a block of marble. The first strike does not reveal the masterpiece, nor does the 10th, but through disciplined effort and consistent strikes, over time the shape begins to emerge. What was once just a block becomes art. The same principle applies to life. You may not see progress immediately, but disciplined and consistent effort slowly reveals the transformation hidden within you. Each day you stay committed, you are carving away the unnecessary and shaping the future you desire. One of the greatest enemies of transformation is inconsistency. Starting strong but stopping early leaves dreams unfinished. Many people begin with enthusiasm, but when the excitement fades and the challenges arrive, they lose momentum. They confuse motivation with commitment. Motivation is what gets you going, but discipline and consistency are what keep you going. Motivation comes and goes, but when you build discipline into your character, you no longer rely on temporary feelings. You show up regardless. And in showing up consistently, you create unstoppable momentum. Transformation is never about perfection. It is about persistence. You will make mistakes. You will fall short. But discipline teaches you to stand up again. And consistency ensures you keep moving forward despite setbacks. Each small step, taken with consistency, is more powerful than rare moments of greatness. It is not about doing everything perfectly. It is about doing the right things repeatedly. Over time, these repetitions ingrain new habits, and new habits create a new life. The beauty of discipline and consistency is that they are available to everyone. You do not need talent, luck, or extraordinary resources to begin. All you need is the decision to commit to small, positive actions every day. When you practice discipline, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted to follow through. When you practice consistency, you build trust with the future because you are planting seeds today that will grow into tomorrow's harvest. Ultimately, transformation is the natural outcome of who you become through discipline and consistency. Every disciplined choice strengthens your character. Every consistent action builds your foundation, and together they reshape your life. What begins as effort eventually becomes identity. You no longer just practice discipline, you become a disciplined person. You no longer just act with consistency. You become someone who can be relied on, and that identity fuels even greater transformation. If you want to change your future, focus not on what you can achieve in a single day, but on what you can achieve through disciplined and consistent effort over time. It is the slow, steady march of small, repeated actions that creates great transformation. Discipline gives you direction. Consistency gives you progress. And together, they give you the power to create a life of meaning, achievement, and fulfillment. Continuous learning and goal setting create direction and growth. Continuous learning and goal setting create direction and growth. When these two forces come together, they provide the clarity, momentum, and resilience needed to transform life from ordinary to extraordinary. Without learning, a person becomes stagnant, trapped in old ways of thinking, unprepared for new opportunities, and blind to better possibilities. Without goals, a person wanders without direction, achieving little because their energy is scattered. But when you commit to always learning and to setting clear goals, you begin to live life with purpose and forward motion. You gain both the tools to grow and the map to know where you are going. Learning is the fuel of progress. No matter how much you already know, the world is constantly changing, and the greatest advantage you can give yourself is the willingness to keep learning. Every book you read, every idea you study, and every lesson you absorb adds another layer to your understanding. Knowledge sharpens your mind and opens doors that once seemed locked. It keeps you adaptable in a world where skills quickly become outdated. If you stop learning, you stop growing. But when you keep learning, you expand your capacity to think, create, and achieve. The mind, like a muscle, grows stronger with use. Feeding it with new ideas ensures it never becomes dull or rigid. But learning alone is not enough. Knowledge without direction can leave you overwhelmed or unfocused. That is why goal setting is essential. A goal is not just a wish. It is a clearly defined target that gives your energy a destination. Without goals, even the most intelligent person can waste years of effort chasing distractions. With goals, even a person of average ability can achieve great things because they know where to aim. A goal acts like a compass. It keeps you steady when obstacles arise. Because you know what you're working toward, it allows you to measure progress, to stay motivated, and to turn learning into practical action. Together, continuous learning and goal setting create a powerful cycle of growth. As you learn, you gain new insights that inspire bigger and clearer goals. As you pursue those goals, you recognize what you still need to learn. and so you return to learning with even greater focus. Each strengthens the other. Learning expands your vision. Goals turn that vision into reality. Without learning, goals remain limited by what you already know. Without goals, learning becomes aimless and unfocused. When you embrace both, you give yourself the chance to continuously rise to higher levels of achievement. Consider someone who commits to reading just 30 minutes a day while also setting written goals for their career, health, and personal growth. At first, the changes are subtle, but over time, that person begins to think differently, make better decisions, and take actions aligned with their goals. They avoid distractions more easily because they know where they're heading. They seize opportunities that others overlook because they've trained their mind to recognize them through constant learning. They are no longer drifting. They are growing with purpose. The real beauty of continuous learning and goal setting is that they create not only external results, but also internal transformation. Each new lesson stretches your thinking. Each achieved goal builds confidence. You begin to trust yourself more because you see that your effort translates into progress. That self-trust gives you the courage to set bigger goals and pursue deeper learning. Growth becomes not just an outcome, but a lifestyle. You become someone who is always expanding, always improving, always moving forward. Many people wait for inspiration to strike before they begin to change their lives, but inspiration alone is fleeting. What keeps you progressing when inspiration fades is the habit of learning something every day and the discipline of working toward meaningful goals. These habits build momentum that sustains you through setbacks. Challenges become opportunities to learn. Delays become lessons in patience. Failures become stepping stones because your goals keep you moving and your learning gives you new ways to adapt. When you look back after years of practicing continuous learning and goal setting, you realize that the growth is not just in what you've achieved, but in who you've become. You've trained your mind to be sharp, your heart to be resilient, and your spirit to be ambitious. You no longer fear the future because you know you are equipped to keep growing. You no longer wander aimlessly because your goals give you direction. You live with clarity and confidence because you know both what to pursue and how to prepare yourself for it. Growth is not automatic. It must be intentional. And the best way to ensure it is to never stop learning and to always set goals. These two practices transform ordinary lives into extraordinary ones, not through sudden leaps, but through steady, purposeful progress. If you commit to feeding your mind and focusing your energy, you will find that growth is not something you chase. It becomes something you embody. Continuous learning and goal setting create the direction you need to stay on course and the growth you need to rise higher than you ever imagined. Health, gratitude, and focus fuels sustainable progress. Health, gratitude, and focus fuels sustainable progress. Without health, even the greatest dreams lose their meaning because it becomes difficult to enjoy what you've worked for. Without gratitude, even success feels empty because there is no joy in the journey. Without focus, energy is wasted and progress is scattered. These three, health, gratitude, and focus, work together like pillars, holding up the foundation of a life that not only achieves, but sustains achievement. When they are present, success has balance and depth. When they are missing, progress collapses under its own weight. Health is the starting point of sustainable progress. A strong body and a sharp mind give you the energy to pursue your goals with passion. If you neglect your health, you may still achieve some things, but the cost will be heavy, and the rewards may feel hollow. You can't perform at your best when you're constantly fatigued, stressed, or burdened with illness that could have been prevented by better choices. Health doesn't have to mean perfection. It means caring for the body and mind that carry you through life. Simple habits, nourishing your body with good food, moving daily, resting well, managing stress, build resilience and stamina. When your health is strong, you wake up with energy, you work with clarity, and you enjoy the fruits of your labor. Progress is no longer a struggle. It becomes a natural extension of your vitality. Gratitude is the second fuel of sustainable progress. It transforms how you experience life. Without gratitude, even great success can feel like failure because the heart is never satisfied. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring what you want to achieve. It means appreciating what you already have while you work for more. It brings peace in the present moment and joy in the process of growth. When you are grateful, setbacks don't destroy you because you recognize the value of the lessons they bring. When you are grateful, success doesn't make you arrogant because you understand it is built on countless blessings and opportunities. Gratitude keeps your perspective balanced. It reminds you that progress is not only about reaching a destination, but about appreciating the journey. Focus ties everything together. In a world full of distractions, focus is the ability to keep your eyes on what matters most. Without focus, you can be busy every day and still go nowhere. Focus channels your energy into meaningful actions. It stops you from scattering your time on things that look urgent but are unimportant. It helps you align your efforts with your true priorities and values. Focus allows you to say no to the noise and yes to the work that leads you forward. With focus, progress compounds because every effort builds on the last instead of being diluted by distraction. Health, gratitude, and focus are deeply connected. When you care for your health, you naturally find it easier to focus because your mind is sharper and your energy is higher. When you practice gratitude, focus becomes easier too, because you are not constantly pulled by dissatisfaction. You know what matters and can devote yourself to it. When you live with focus, gratitude deepens because you see progress more clearly and appreciate how far you've come. Each one reinforces the other, and together they create a cycle of sustainable growth. Many people chase success at the expense of health, gratitude, and focus, only to discover that their achievements feel heavy and fleeting. They burn themselves out physically, they live with constant dissatisfaction, and they scatter their energy on too many things. This path leads to exhaustion, frustration, and a sense of emptiness. Sustainable progress requires balance. It requires strength of body, peace of mind, and clarity of purpose. That is why health, gratitude, and focus are not luxuries. They are essentials. Sustainable progress is not about a quick burst of effort, but about building a life that can keep moving forward year after year. A healthy body ensures you have the strength to keep going. A grateful heart ensures you enjoy the process instead of resenting it. A focused mind ensures that your effort actually creates meaningful results. Together, they allow you to grow without burning out, to achieve without losing joy, and to succeed without losing direction. When you look at those who live with lasting success, you often notice that they care for their health, they practice gratitude, and they guard their focus. They understand that progress is not measured only by how much you accomplish, but also by how fully you can live while accomplishing it. True success is being able to enjoy the journey, stay strong for the challenges, and stay clear on what truly matters. That is why health, gratitude, and focus are more than habits. They are the fuels that carry you toward a future that is not only successful, but also fulfilling. Relationships, persistence, and contribution elevate both success and fulfillment. Relationships, persistence, and contribution elevate both success and fulfillment. Success on its own can feel hollow if it is not shared with others, if it is not the result of resilience, and if it does not give back in some way. True success is not measured only by wealth, titles, or achievements, but by the quality of connections you build, the persistence you show through challenges, and the contributions you make to something greater than yourself. These three, relationships, persistence, and contribution, do not just add to success, they elevate it, transforming it from something temporary into something meaningful and lasting. Relationships are at the heart of a fulfilling life. No matter how much you achieve, if you stand alone at the top, the victory will feel empty. Human beings are designed for connection. The people you surround yourself with shape your thoughts, habits, and beliefs. When you build strong, positive relationships, you create an environment that supports growth, encouragement, and accountability. The right relationships challenge you to become better, remind you of your values, and help you stay grounded when success tempts you toward arrogance or complacency. A kind word from a mentor, support from a friend, or love from family can give you strength in moments when discipline alone feels heavy. At the same time, relationships allow you to give support to others, which deepens your sense of purpose. When you walk your journey alongside others, success is no longer just about what you achieve, but about the joy of lifting one another higher. Persistence is the second force that elevates success. It is easy to start something when excitement is high and obstacles are few. But persistence is what carries you when enthusiasm fades and challenges rise. Every meaningful goal will test your patience, your strength, and your determination. Without persistence, even the most talented people fail to reach their potential. Persistence is not about moving fast, but about refusing to quit. It is about rising each time you fall, trying again after failure, and continuing even when progress is slow or invisible. Success does not go to the one who starts the fastest, but to the one who keeps moving the longest. Persistence gives depth to success because it transforms your achievements into symbols of resilience, not luck. Every obstacle you overcome through persistence becomes part of your story, making the victory sweeter and more meaningful. Contribution is the final piece that elevates both success and fulfillment. Without contribution, success risks becoming selfish and empty. Accumulating wealth, recognition, or power without using them to serve others leads to a shallow life. Contribution, on the other hand, creates significance. It allows your success to ripple outward, touching lives beyond your own. When you use your time, skills, or resources to uplift others, you create a legacy that outlives you. Contribution gives meaning to sacrifice and joy to achieve. It reminds you that success is not only about climbing higher, but also about reaching back to pull others up. Fulfillment comes not just from getting, but from giving. Not just from winning, but from sharing. Relationships, persistence, and contribution are deeply connected. Relationships give you the support to persist when times are hard. Persistence ensures you grow strong enough to contribute meaningfully. Contribution strengthens relationships because giving builds bonds and trust. Together, they create a cycle that turns ordinary success into lasting fulfillment. Imagine achieving wealth but having no one to share it with, or reaching a goal but knowing you quit at the first sign of struggle, or being celebrated publicly while feeling empty inside because you gave nothing back. Such success is fragile and unsatisfying. But when you achieve with persistence, surrounded by meaningful relationships, and when your success is used to serve others, you experience fulfillment that no setback can take away. In the end, people will not remember you only for what you achieved, but also for how you treated others, how you endured challenges, and how you contributed to the lives around you. Success is temporary, but relationships, persistence, and contribution create a legacy. They elevate your achievements into something that matters, something that inspires others, something that gives you peace when you look back on your life. These three are not extras. They are the essence of a life well lived. Build strong relationships, persist through trials, and contribute generously. And you will discover that success becomes more than just accomplishment. It becomes fulfillment. The journey of transformation is not about one grand decision or a single leap forward. It is about the steady accumulation of small, intentional choices made each day. Habits, discipline, learning, health, gratitude, persistence, and contribution. They are the building blocks of a future shaped with purpose.